1,000 recordings. A lot of them aren't labeled yet because I just don't have the time. But they're all there, and when someone does finally take an interest, the gig is up. But today we'll do the one with the military ombudsman, one of them, or two of them, I guess, and then we can do one from the NDP nomination office where they phoned the RCMP on me when I was getting out of the Hope Center. Chad James, military ombudsman. Here we go.
Welcome to the office of the Ombudsman for the Canadian Forces and the Department. Our call center is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Ombudsman's office is a direct source of information, referral, and education, and assists individuals in accessing existing channels of assistance within the Department of Justice. Please hold while your call is transferred. Office Ombudsman, bonjour, Jacques speaking.
Yeah, hi, I'm looking for Chad James, please.
Yeah, your name, please?
Kirk Riese.
Okay, I'm going to transfer. Can you hold the line?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get ready to pause it if they put my sin and everything in there.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, you have Chad online. Thank you.
Hi, Kirk. How are you?
Not too bad yourself?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware of my drama.
I know it's regarding a harassment complaint, right? Some bullying.
At least, yep. But
So, did you submit the harassment complaint in the end?
no, I went to, and they said don't bother.
Who said that? Your chain of command?
William Bowen. It's a long story, but I'll just give it to you in a nutshell. Basically, I reported corruption back in October. I was suspended for a year. 3 days later, the sergeant major let me back in December, but the patrol leaders wouldn't let me back in because they're my best friend, and he said he had to be the patrol leader to get this money from Trudeau.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you got to win the election. So then next thing you know, they canceled the election and had a fake one with only the patrol commanders and their friends.
Right.
Against our Constitution, and everybody knew about the Constitution, but they just disregarded it anyways. And then, so they sent a warrant up, and he threatened me, said, I haven't stepped on too many toes, after I told him about the corruption, and he still said that. He said, I have to quit or get Section 5F. I was like, well, I'm not quitting for doing what's right. And then, he says, Kirk, think of your family, think of your kids, think of your babies over and over. And, what can only be construed as a threat. I told him I was going to go to the ombudsman, and he told me not to. It never ends well. All this stuff is emailed too, by the way, and recorded.
Right.
So anyways, I was hoping the lieutenant colonel would deal with it, and I sent him an email, and he never responded, ever. So I was pretty much on the run for a month. And then I said I was going to go public, and then all of a sudden they responded. So they called me into Victoria. I had a meeting with the lieutenant colonel and the major, and I was thinking, here, I'm just going to drop off all my evidence, The major said no. And then they just said it's going to take years to sort this out and just to file the grievances. And then I tried to file the grievances, and it's just a long fucking story. But now, as of today, they said they're going to get me a assisting officer again, which I've been asking for months.
Is that what you were referencing in your email about apparently your supervisor's going to help you out?
Well, yeah. But again, I don't even know if she's my supervisor because 3 other people say they are.
So did she say that in writing or just verbally?
It's all emailed. Like I have everything emailed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because if she says that verbally, if she says that by email, then
Only if someone will take it.
that means that's good.
Well, no,
You don't want to
you don't understand.
verbal.
I have everything documented, like emails from the sergeant majors after he tried to bribe me. You know, it just.
Can I ask for some clarification?
Yeah.
Bribe you for what?
What's that?
Bribe you for what? Like what was the bribe in regards to?
Because I kept questioning our EUR payments. We were signing blank sheets for years.
Okay.
We were signing the wrong sheets for one thing, and then after, like when I started, sir, it was $100 a day for a truck, quad, motor, sled, and such.
Okay.
And that was fine. Then eventually it got bumped up to 200, like 4 years later. I find out originally in 2003 it was already at $200. So we started off signing these blank sheets and getting paid the wrong rates, which is against our constitution. Again, they can't change the rates. Anyways, sir, we had a big fire in the Orange, and they it started off. They said I was the best ranger in Canada to carry on with what I'm doing. The army came up and they wouldn't help. They were just taking pictures of themselves, pretty much, in my opinion. And I was begging for guys to help us on these fires, and they wouldn't give me any. And then at the end of the job, they said they're not paying me. And my jet ski blew up and everything. And then the warrant says I wasn't on the fires. Like the sergeant major, when I started making these claims or accusations of fraud and stuff, he says, "Kirk, you're post-traumatic stress about the fires." I'm like, why the fuck would you want me to say I'm post-traumatic stress? I'm not post-traumatic stress about the fires. I'm post-traumatic about getting fucked over all the time. But, I lose my train of thought here sometimes. But then, he said, I said, why would you? He says, well, then we can maybe help you financially if I claim post-traumatic. So anyways, I looked into it a bit. I phoned the office, or like the counselors in Dundurn, and they pulled my file, and they said, "Oh, did you just join?" And I'm like, "No." He said, "Well, there's only one piece of paper in here." I was like, "Well, I'm almost 9 years now, and there's only one piece of paper for me, and it was for Off-Lentis 2017 in Williams Lake, where I again question fraud." But regardless,
Sir, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Are you homeless?
Yeah. Well, I own a home and a shop, and I'm just living in my fucking truck with my 6-year-old. Like
Are you serious, sir?
Since January, yes.
What do you mean you have a shop? You like?
I was a successful business person. Like my whole family's successes. That's why I couldn't be bribed. And I had $1 million contracts. Now I'm broke, living in a fucking truck on an island outside of on the coast of BC. And the Army's known about this forever, and they just won't help me. I'm trying to get Veterans Affairs, but they won't touch me because I'm not released yet, and they won't release me because then I can get help, right?
So, are you the sole guardian of your son?
Yes, I've had him since he was born. Well, his mom sees him once a blue moon. Like I actually took her to Victoria to talk to the lieutenant colonel, and then she was supposed to move to her sister's in BC, and then she just said, "Fuck it," she wants to go back to the ranch because she's an alcoholic, right? And I don't drink with her or anything. So yeah, I'm a single dad forever, yeah.
But you don't have a fixed address.
Well, I have a fixed address in Saskatchewan, but I'm sure as fuck not going there after they threatened me. Like, the sergeant major told everybody I was a drug dealer, and the patrol commander, also the chief's husband, told the drug dealers I was an informant. So, like, they were trying to get me killed, sir, that's the fact, Because I know too much, like.
So right now you're in the military, you're a regular force member?
No, I'm reserve force. Like, this is fucking voluntary.
Okay, reserve force. So you're a reserve force member, you're living in a car with your son.
In a truck.
How many years is this in a truck? Since January 23rd, 2019?
Yes. Well, I stayed at a friend's house for a month in Saskatoon while I was trying to get my grievances done with Captain Parker, and he was a great guy. Then I asked him about the harassment. He said, "Well, you definitely want to do harassment, But then I got to go back to Billy Bowen, who I originally drove to Edmonton to give